Hey guys, we're trying out the other mic again. I'm sitting behind it currently, so you might not be able to hear me. But I'm gonna go stand in front of it. I'm gonna go sit on this bench over here. No one wants to watch lifting anyways. No one's excited for this. I can see by the viewer numbers compared to previous streams. There's a few gym nerds in here. Can you guys hear Tony when he talks?
Hola. I just farted, so I threw out my back.
You just farted so hard you threw out your back?
I just farted so hard I threw out my back.
That's what you said, bro.
Damn, Paul.
Is your back okay?
We must have had the same dinner last night. Key one to any workout. Hydration.
Yeah, you can kind of hear it. I mean, it's not super fantastic. Volume's all the way up. What's up, Sam? I guess we're just going to take it a little more chill today with some lifting. What's my bit rate here? 9,000. It's over 9,000, Tony. The bit rate?
What does that mean?
It's over 9,000.
That's like Dragon Ball level of power right there from Goku. Nothing.
Let's see. I do think I just fixed the quality issues though. This looks about 20 times better quality. Just kidding. Trying to catch a glimpse of Miha over there. Is he? It's like what is that show? There's this old Adult Swim show. Oh my god. God, I can't remember what it's called. The Tim and Eric show. Have you guys seen the Tim and Eric show where he's like hiding behind the bush?
What? That comedian guy?
There's no.
Fuck, dude.
You're just hearing the echo from the computer. Because I'm trying to hear it from my own playback.
You gotta hold the Mihawk pose while we wait.
Oh, there's very little delay though. It's actually not delayed at all. All right, Emma, come over here.
Come work out, Emma.
Yeah, you guys could. I could work the camera. I actually enjoy it.
Seriously, good start.
I like it. Sometimes I don't want to be in front of the camera.
Why is it so zoomed in? On purpose?
Yeah, I was just getting some up close and personal shots with it. Well, we're gonna figure out how to.
Yo, people, here's a summary of what's going on. This is day 6, I think, or day 5 of the live streams. It's day 6. I think we did the first one on Sunday. We're doing them Monday to Friday, and today is lifting. And never in the history of Keenan Online, Legion, or anything else have we recorded anything on lifting. But today, I think we're going to prioritize the exercises that you can do at home. So with the equipment that you have. So please, in the chat, in the Discord for Legion members, and the intercom for Keenan Online members, and everyone else in the YouTube chat, please write what kind of equipment you have at home. There's a high likelihood that we have it in here, and then we can grab it, and Tony can show you some exercises, and yeah, we can go from there.
See, a lot of people have kettlebell, pull-up bar on the door.
Yeah, I think kettlebells are pretty much the best thing to have at home right now.
I'd agree.
They're saying a bit louder, please.
Huh?
Can't.
Who says that?
Cans of beans and bags of rice. Yeah. Kettlebell.
Curl some beans, press some rice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. If you have a pull-up bar, a kettlebell, and a barbell, you're gonna get jacked.
I have a partner.
We'll have partner lists here in a second. We'll show how
Yeah.
Keenan or Miha can carry one or the other. Do some front squats.
I like to do that with Emma sometimes. I put her over the shoulders like a fireman's carry and then do squats. So if you have a woman
or whatever
a good woman at home, throw her on your shoulders.
Don't finish the fireman's carry.
Keenan's coming.
No, I'm not going to be in the stream today.
Where's Keenan? Do a pull-up if you care.
How's it look, Emma?
Looks okay, but someone said a bit louder, please. But
Sarcasm.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Peter, so we're gonna show you some kettlebell exercises and hold on to the steel mace for the riots and the looting and, you know, fighting people off of your property.
Well, you guys show them some kettlebells, and I'm going to do some real lifts on this bench press.
So for everyone at home that has a
do some
Thompson
maintenance.
Fat Pad Rogue bench
Hey,
press.
hey, I got to use what I have available, and I got this available. More about fitness than I do.
Happened.
Tony is a master of kinesiology. He has a double master's in kinesiology.
That's
You went to
impossible.
school twice for the same thing. Got
School
two
once.
masters.
I just got 2 undergrads.
Sports psychology
That's a lot.
and kinesiology. Something like that.
Oh.
He's highly qualified in the exercise realm. He's going to be showing us some workouts you can do at home with a weight, like a kettlebell shaped thing. You could get like a
During
5-gallon jug.
During the master's program, there was like what to do during a pandemic, like quarantine moment workout.
Oh, so you did a whole
Pyramid.
course on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So you know exactly what.
I have a minor in quarantine workouts.
All right.
Just kidding.
Yeah, so, I mean, as long as you guys can hear us, kind of, that's the best we're going to do today because Chance gave us his shitty shotgun mic. Little did we know, he had a second one. I asked him 3 days ago, I said, Chance, do you have an extra shotgun mic? He said, no. And then I was like, okay, well, I've seen you use one before. And he's like, well, yeah, it's not extra. I'm like, okay, well, can I use that one? You're not going to use it. He's like, okay, fine. So he finally relinquishes the shotgun mic, gives it to us. It's the crappy one that you're hearing right now. And then today, while I'm FaceTiming him to fix the situation, he's like, oh, by the way, I've got another mic. So he had 2 mics the whole time, a better one. And so that's the situation. So if you have problems with the audio, take it up with the Cat Rabbit Media guy in the chat, because that's Chance. So he'll deal with your questions and concerns there. I'm going to start working out. Yeah. Tony, will you spot me, please? This is 135 pounds. It's a little heavy for me. If I could, if you could get into position.
I'm sorry, our members come first. Anyways, what's the first question?
Like the first question was what kind of equipment people have, and we realized that from the Legion member side, kettlebell is the best what they have.
Alright, I think maybe we could like ask with the kettlebell if they're wanting like a full body functional workout or like a leg workout related with the kettlebell upper body.
In between sets.
I'm just gonna come gracefully touch my
I'm going to
shoulder.
provide input where I can.
Boom. How to use your core without.
Should we move this out of the way so they can see you better? Right? That's probably
They
fine.
can see that.
Go ahead, Mia. Show them the first one, which is.
Hey,
Whatever you
why
wanna
did
do.
Keenan stop training at Hanzo's?
Because I got a virus in my eye. The place is dirty, dude. I literally almost lost my vision training there. It was a disaster.
Damn, I never had.
What are the questions from the members?
So I didn't really. I asked for questions and to just let us know what kind of equipment they have, so we can put something together.
I mean, everyone's gonna have like different things. Some people have a dumbbell, some people have a kettlebell, some people have a water jug, some people have a child maybe that they can lift. So I think just any sort of kettlebell movement could be done with any object.
I think pull-up bars and kettlebells are the best that people have, but that's why we need to do some bodyweight stuff, I think, as well.
This is a good question, Tony. Should we add some reps to focus on explosiveness? I think everyone should be adding reps in general just because we don't have that many. We have access to weights like so, or a lot of Olympic lifting, and so it's just an easier way to burn more calories and get some more volume in. Thank you, Keenan. Just showing off all the weights that he has. No big deal.
Yeah.
Explosiveness usually is you're controlling the eccentric portion or the negative part, and then the concentric or the actual working part you're putting more effort or focusing on the speed of that rep.
You're gonna have to speak up, Tony.
All right.
Yeah.
That guy's a trainer too.
Jake?
No, the last one.
Steven?
Steven, yeah. So he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
One of our members.
I
in the
think I
8
really
level
think
course.
we should just work out, and we should do a kettlebell workout.
A whole kettlebell workout.
Yeah, just let's do a full workout. Like what else are we gonna do? Just tell them and demonstrate. We gotta just do it. So let's begin. You guys should warm up.
Okay. Legs.
We're gonna we need to work out. That's what needs to happen right now.
Squats.
Yeah.
It's very obvious.
Let's just start doing some shit to warm up. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. First one, grab your kettlebell if you have it. Put it like this. If you don't have it, small child, medium-sized dog, water jug, it's all gonna work. Hold it like this.
Bag of rice.
Bag of rice, yeah, if it's heavy enough.
Counterweight.
Yeah. And then simply go into a squat. And now, push the earth away. Get back up.
Squeeze your glutes. Come on, Keenan.
It's called a goblet squat.
Yeah.
Goblet squat.
Let your knees pop a few times.
See, the thing about, I'll have my own views on functional fitness for jiu-jitsu. This is a little different situation.
You don't do any of it.
This is a situation where you don't have an option. You're forced to do functional fitness, and that's just the situation you're in, regardless of how you feel about it. I knew it.
Oh,
knew it.
Jesus.
Frickin'
Wait.
May I smell your armpits? Turn around. Damn, James, you're nasty. Here's a question. Keenan, what movement have you found is the most translatable to jiu-jitsu?
Oh, there's a little balance thing here. Look at that.
Sick.
I'll explain that in a second. I'm just fixing the camera. There we go. That should be perfectly level. Look, there's a little ball there. Little air bubble. That's been bugging me for a week. I finally fixed the tripod. The best
Make it fun.
the best workout for jiu-jitsu is deadlifts, bench press, and squat. Which you can do with a kettlebell, kind of. But
Why is that?
Why?
Yeah.
Why are those things important?
Yeah.
Because they transition to actual grappling movements. Yeah. You can actually use a deadlift almost every round. You use bench press every time you try and do guard recovery. And then you definitely need a lot of, what is this motion called?
Pulling.
What's the scientific?
Retracting.
Retraction?
Of the shoulder blades.
Is this an eccentric motion? An
No,
eccentric?
it's definitely not. It's concentric.
Concentric motions. You definitely want to be using those for some squeezing.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So what I would do, and I think you guys should provide the opposite information, I would be hitting bench press at home right now with my girlfriend on my hands, like stiff as a board, bench press.
And she's getting a workout at the same time. She's doing a plank.
Yeah. So I'm going to simulate that with a real bench as I hit.
Are you saying that your girlfriend weighs?
180?
I hope you don't.
So what if she
don't say
did,
out loud.
dude? Don't talk shit about my girlfriend.
I'm not,
man.
dude. Love is love. Whatever.
Doesn't matter how much she weighs, okay?
Imagine the beauty within. He's just looking for some anger to get some extra reps in. That's what it is. You should watch his form. You recording it?
Yeah, this is perfect form.
Alright, let's get back to our members. Conventional or sumo deadlifts? I think both have place. I like conventional the most just because sumo taxes your legs a little bit more and I like to squat more often. But I think it also plays a role in how healthy your lower back or how tall or short you are. I know that usually you can deadlift more with conventional than sumo. Wait, no, sorry, sumo than conventional. But I think everyone here, well, I think you guys do some sumo, right? I know you do conventional.
I do sumo sometimes.
Yeah, he does sumo.
Yeah. Just as an accessory.
Yeah.
I don't do sumo because my legs are so long. I feel like I'm gonna crush my toes when I do it. When I get into
The
full
plates?
straddle stance,
Yeah.
it's like very close. So I do conventional, which is supposed to be harder for taller people. Hey, someone's giving me bench press breathing advice in the chat. Should I listen? Or should should I completely ignore every exercise advice that they give me? Tell Keenan to breathe in on the way down and out on the way up. He needs to stay tighter throughout the movement. Thanks, bro. I'll do
Could
that.
be a broette. You don't know. I dare. Oh, it's in an idea, like in Spanish, like idea. Let's see. We should add some. So somebody here on the, is this what, YouTube? They asked kettlebell versus body weight routines. I think they both have a place, especially now. But if you have some weight, to use it so you can stimulate your muscles to react to them.
Yeah, you
To
definitely
excess
need to be
weight.
hitting weight right now.
Yeah. You still warming up?
Yeah. Kinda.
I'm trying to get these guys to work out, but Tony's just a chatterbox, dude. Let's go. Let's show these guys your squat, dude.
I'm down.
Let's lift some heavy weight right now.
I already did chest yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna do bench, and then I'm gonna do legs too. I just like to prioritize bench on
That's
my.
kind of like if on jiu-jitsu days we just started rolling and we were like, you guys can't roll, look at us roll.
That's it. That's what we do. That's literally what we did. All
No, like we do a lot of technique, then we do rolling, and then we record it for
We give
Keenan
the people
Online.
what bro lifts, and then in between sets, somebody has to give like a functional movement. Like a functional exercise, you know what I mean? So while you're resting, you gotta show one. Then while you're resting, you gotta show one. While I'm resting, I gotta show one.
For sure. I think one
You
of the
can do
most.
both.
If we're trying to be jiu-jitsu specific, one of the best things you can do is gi pull-ups. Draping a gi over something, if you have a pull-up bar. But
Which most
who
people
does?
actually have.
They do.
Yeah. I think they have more of those like door kind of pull-ups, which is better than
I
nothing,
wouldn't,
so.
I wouldn't risk
Dude,
it on that
someone ban this idea guy. I know what a Valsalva is, bro. I know what this is. I've been lifting for the last 10 years of my life. I'm aware of the situation. Someone ban him immediately. Get him out of the chat right now.
Let's see.
I won't stand for this. Where are my mods?
Dang.
No one's banning him.
Steven coming in with
Get
the
him
good
outta here.
questions from Discord.
Ban idea. No, you're out of here, bro.
I like low
Just
bar.
for using the word Valsalva. Get him
No
outta
ban,
here.
please, blah, please.
I'm serious.
Wait, time out.
Anyone else who says anything about my benching form, you're out too.
Wait,
This is
Important
how-
question.
How did someone time out the mod? Josh is a mod.
Mod on mod crime going down right now.
What is your favorite flavor of Bang?
That's a tough one. Can I get this 45? You know?
Something not being used over there.
I guess you could consider this my warm up still. I'm just waiting for Tony to figure out the kettlebell workout that he wants to do. Or
Can do it in
functional
between.
workout.
I can show a couple. Me, I can too.
The best way to teach
for
is through
Tony.
demonstration. That's the thing. You gotta just demonstrate.
Alright, Tony, here, let's do it like, you show one, I show one.
Deal. Okay.
You start.
So we started with the goblet squat as a warm up, but then in transition, if you want to warm up your upper body too, you go from goblet squat to overhead press. Squat, press. It's probably one of the better full body workouts you can do with a kettlebell too.
Josh W. untimed himself out, so it's all fair game. He got timed out and then he modded himself back into
Nice.
power, so it's all good.
That was like a House of Cards level interaction there. Should we ask everyone that has a kettlebell at home to grab it right now?
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea.
Everybody at home, grab a kettlebell.
Alright guys, everyone, you have a minute to grab your kettlebell if you have it at home. And please let us know in the chats if you've done so.
I'm gonna get my phone. I'll start taking notes.
So instead of ideas that you're not gonna ever do, let's just do a workout together right now.
I just want everyone to know this is 225 and I'm gonna rep it for 8 right now.
Emma, move the camera. No. No one gets to see this. No. I will shield this bench press show off here.
He's halfway there. He's at 4.
That was actually 16 for a good measure, but you guys didn't see that because me, I was blocking
I
it.
think they're pretty.
All right, guys, they got their kettlebell. Let's go. You guys might want to up that weight. That's kind of unimpressive weights.
Dude.
These kettlebells.
I think if you tried to pick up this kettlebell right now, you would grab it like this. Because you have no idea what to do with them.
Dude, kettlebells are like the easiest
That's how
thing
you get
ever.
a knee
dude.
challenge. Dude.
You just
Look at that
you do
great
your hip
back
swings.
form. Look at that great back.
Oh, sorry, I'm used to lifting actual real weights,
Nice.
not these things.
Yes, this is exactly how you don't do a kettlebell swing.
Exactly.
Great.
Breaking that hip too much weight on his toes, not his
Yeah.
heels.
Shoulders way too rounded. not hinging forward, doing a squat.
Hyperventilating really hard. Breathing through your
It's because
mouth.
I'm working out right now. Let's go.
Please show the proper form.
Yeah. So first, when you grab the kettlebell, you want to pull your scapulas together and back, so you have your back straight. And then it's a common mistake to do this, where you basically squat down to get the kettlebell back to this position. So instead of that, we keep everything super straight. We go here, and we just hinge forward, and then with the strength of our glutes, shooting the kettlebell up.
Contract your glutes.
This is really good for when you have to like smash someone against the ground, you're engaging your glutes. When you have to do a bridge, you're engaging your glutes. Basically, half of jiu-jitsu is just you squeezing your ass.
Heck yeah.
Right. So we had the goblet squat, we had the goblet thruster, kind of moving along the same lines. With kettlebells, you can do a push press like this. So you can do this just for the upper body. You can do two at the same time if you want, like this. But what you can also do is keep the kettlebell in this position, do a squat, and then do a press here. So this is just a different kind of thruster. You hold it like this, make sure your wrist is straight, make sure the kettlebell's resting on your arm, squat down, and on the way up, extend it into a press. And do 10 on each side. Shall we?
Let's do it. Ooh. Where's your kettlebell, dude?
I don't think we have enough.
You got plenty. Give him the pink one.
Yeah.
Favorite color.
Yeah, these guys need rep ranges.
Yeah, for
they need
sure.
Sets.
Heck yeah. I think depending on what weight you have, rep ranges can change. Just make sure whenever you're reaching the end of that set, you're reaching borderline failure. Ready?
Yeah. These are hitting these squats, huh? Probably shouldn't risk this because my form's so bad. I don't want to demonstrate such incorrect form. Just to be berated.
Yeah, dude. You thought this was a lifting stream, not standing
Well,
around.
now you started lifting. Yeah, I feel the same way, Chauvin. Tell me this, Tony. How come there's so much momentum in kettlebell movements? Doesn't that change like the time under stress that your muscles are engaged in?
You're just using more muscles. Aren't most full body movements a lot of movement involvement, like squats?
No, momentum. I said. So it's like you're actually built like when you're like a kettlebell swing, for instance. It's like there's a lot of like.
The momentum
Yeah,
portion.
you're making the momentum happen. Like it doesn't just
So
appear.
it's like explosive.
So there's the momentum portion, the eccentric portion. So whenever you're doing the concentric part, you have some counterweight from the gravity and speed of the actual weight moving.
Whoa,
Oh shit, that hurt.
that's some master's level stuff. Tony just spewed.
Your turn.
I did it with my left arm already. Did you do both arms?
I did both.
Shit.
I'm gonna hit my next. And we'll get a shot of this. Give the people what they want.
You're all in.
Kind of breaking the rules, I guess, but.
Yeah, Bob, you can do most of these movements with dumbbells. Just for this one specifically, it's a little bit harder to like hold the dumbbell on your arm. So you have to modify it a little bit. But if you have a big dumbbell, you can like hold it like this as a goblet. You can just adapt.
And this exercise is pretty easy for dumbbell because you just hold it regularly. Just turn it in. Kind of like an Arnold press.
Your
My
turn.
turn.
Your turn to show one, yeah.
Same thing. That was a full body one. Let's work on the back a little bit. Make sure we have good posture. We do single arm kettlebell rows. Hand on your hip or on your thigh. Start with in punching position, so your palm is facing you, and you're going to rotate towards your ribs and reach for your pocket. 10 to 12 each arm. Make sure your back is staying neutral. weight on your hamstrings and your glutes.
Is it true that most Russian athletes primarily work out with kettlebells? Or do they use barbell equipment?
They do a lot of kettlebell things.
I'm not up to date by the way.
You know? I would just like to see some of the elite level wrestlers, what they're doing. Because I feel like USA wrestlers, if you watch their workouts, it's kind of a lot of everything. They don't really focus on any one particular type. They do a lot. They really don't focus on form. If you ever watch like Kyle Dake or any of the,
They're into functional pattern movements. That's what they're into.
what's that mean?
It's this new. I'm sure you've heard of him too. The guy that follows like different planes and different kind
He
of.
doesn't. Kyle Dake is
He
not
does.
doing. What's that
100%.
guy's name?
100%.
Conor McGregor's
I've seen him.
movement coach. What was that?
No,
guy's
not
name?
that guy.
Oh,
It's literally called functional patterns.
okay.
like
But
a guy.
what's a functional pattern?
I don't know. I can't describe it to you. Like comes up with a new exercise every day.
Oh, okay.
It's like you're moving in planes related to your performance, but with weights.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Like they're just trying to find as many applicable movements as possible and add
The
weight to
positive
them.
transfer is what it's called.
Yeah. So they're doing like double legs with weights on them.
Nah,
No?
it's really weird. Actually, you show them, I'll find out a video of this guy.
I would like to see that.
It's pretty trippy. I can on my phone. Wherever that may be.
Tony, can you do a muscle up?
Can I do a muscle
Have
up?
you ever done one?
Yeah, I've done them.
I don't think that's
It's
right.
been a minute. I don't think we have the bars for it here.
Yeah, I can't do it. You'll kill you.
Alright guys, next exercise. Believe it or not, but you can actually do bicep curls
Okay.
with a kettlebell.
Now we're talking.
You grab it like this, so bite the horns, make sure your arms are super straight, your back's engaged, and then just like as nice as you can, you try to touch it to your chin. Unless you live with someone, then don't risk it.
There you go. See? Check it out.
Is there any science to back this?
Apparently it's all science.
Kyle Dake. Okay, this is Kyle. Okay. Functional Patterns. He's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's been around for a
I'm
little
gonna
bit.
skip this ad.
Do I want to buy this pump? Actually, and then right into that, since you don't need to rest too much for your biceps, we can go into triceps. So you grip it the same way as if you're doing a goblet squat. Overhead, elbows to your ears, don't let them flare out.
Whoa.
Press through your palms. Good range of motion.
This is really sick.
Listen to your elbows pop.
I think this guy's onto something, Tony.
He's been onto it.
This is pretty cool. But they have a lot of very specific equipment for this, like these weird balls on ropes, and
They use the cable machine mostly.
I see them using some cable machine action.
Yeah.
He's got him doing some breathing exercises.
But the thing is, like, if you look into it, you guys can look him up on YouTube.
I'll
Functional
just
patterns.
post, I'm gonna send the link in the chat right now. From
A lot of his movements are like tailored, just like makeup, like in his head. He's like, this is what will be like applicable based on what I think is right.
Yeah.
It's not something. It's not like
Here.
an average Joe.
I'm
workout
posting it from
routine.
Tony's account in the chat. Check out this link. Oh, you might not be able to actually because you're not a mod. Dang.
What's a mod mean?
Send it to me, I'll put it in.
It's just Kyle Dake workout is what he searched. Emma, did I leave my phone over here? Never mind, it's right here.
You gonna send it to him?
No, I'm just gonna pay attention to the chat.
Okay. While they do that, let's see if there's any. I
Could
haven't
you-
even checked this shit.
Could you spot me on this?
Sure.
You could maybe tell them a little bit of my background of how strong I've gotten since I started working out with you, and then stopped, and then started.
I think I'll be honest.
I stayed exactly the same.
I think no. I will say I think your bench has always been strong. It kind of stayed around the same.
Yeah.
But I do think your squats, well, at least when you were lifting with me,
Uh-huh.
and your deadlift's always been pretty good too. But I think
Thanks.
your squats definitely benefited
All right.
from some like
I'll take some
form,
constructive
some form
criticism.
correction.
Can you give me a lift off, bro? It's getting
Gotcha, bro.
heavier by the day.
Got you, bro.
Three,
Quarantine gains.
1. Lift.
Not turn to bang.
many was that?
7.
Could have gotten 8.
We haven't checked any questions.
Yeah, it's
Neck.
2 plates. Skeptic 77. It's not a big deal. It's like a little more than my body weight for 8, 7. If you trust Tony's count.
Is Tony really sleeping here? None of your business.
Hey, someone ban Ezra right now. Get this guy out of here. Miha, ban him, please. Permanent ban, never to return. I don't want to see this guy on my YouTube channel ever again.
Rip
I think I've seen this guy. He might be.
Put him in timeout. You're on timeout, bro. Yeah, we'll probably go for some 1 rep maxes today. Right, Tony?
I actually did that yesterday.
Oh.
But I don't do 1 rep maxes, just so everyone knows. I do 4 to 5 reps.
Yeah, I take on a very different tone when it's lifting day. I'm not a professional in lifting. I'm a professional in jiu-jitsu. But in the lifting room, anything goes.
That posture is perfect. That right there.
This one?
No, yours, yeah. Right in front of the camera.
Perfect posture. I'm just ready to.
No, anyone giving me lifting advice, correcting my form, or telling me how to breathe gets a permanent ban. And that's just how we run this channel here on lifting day. Okay? Gentlemen, would you like to show them their next move?
This one's pretty good, Tony.
What does it say? Oh, strong list 5 to 5 good for BJJ. I'm new to. I'm a big believer in that. I think in anything performance related, that way you can kind of track your progress over time. I think people's bodies are different, so some people can do it more often. But I also think there's a place for mixing things up and adding some high volume Olympic lift days. So you can focus on like pause squats or pause presses, better range of motion, give your CNS some time to rest.
We got some questions here.
You like lifting against?
No, you gotta read it really loud, really clear.
Good day, guys. You like lifting against CrossFit-like stuff because it's more fun for you, or you think it's more effective? You like lifting against CrossFit?
Yeah, there's probably a language barrier here. This guy's name is
for sure.
Shinigurai. He's probably
He's from Krasnoyarsk, Russia.
okay.
Oh.
I think we have to clarify that no one's really doing CrossFit here. It's just like barbell movements.
We only do cross jits.
Yeah, cross jits.
Damn, you just took my word.
That's your patented workout, dude.
You got cross jits and juju. That's all we do in here.
Do you need me to answer that question? You ignored it, Tony.
Oh, we don't really do. I think you just did.
Well, I mean, you can still put it in a frame that's understandable.
I think CrossFit
Look,
is
he's going to clarify. 'Cause
the
he's
way
watching right
of lifting Olympically in a very short amount of time and not having like a general like rep scheme and more of like a time how to complete workout as fast as possible. I mean, seems like
CrossFit is like it's mostly circuits, right?
Yeah.
It's more circuits than anything. Whereas Olympic lifting, CrossFit is kind of based around Olympic lifting. Maybe it's like the foundation of it.
It's circuit training with a lot of Olympic lifts and more.
Like any exercise is going to be good for you. If you don't lift weights, any weight you lift is going to be good. Once you get into weightlifting, whatever that may be, then you could maybe specialize into a specific lifting style that you like. Like I personally like more bodybuilding style lifting. I feel like that works best with my body type and the way I like to train because I'm more of a naturally slim guy, I would say. Would you say? More like agile and slim. So I need to like put on muscle mass, so I can like
gains with the Z.
gain. But some people are bigger naturally, like Tony. Well, Tony likes bodybuilding exercises too. He just knows a lot about more functional training too, right?
Yeah.
You prefer
I like to
bodybuilding?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'd say most once you get into lifting, almost everyone except Miha prefers bodybuilding style. However, Miha is incredibly strong in
true.
jiu-jitsu, and so I don't know how he pulls that off with some bogus kettlebell
Because
set.
he has strong oblique workout. The oblique workout.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on what you like. So everything is effective. You're not going to find one that's better than the other. It's what is best for you, Shinigurai. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think with CrossFit too, they do a lot of circuits that are cardio based or like
Jumping.
clean and jerks, a lot of that stuff. I think
Yeah.
it's honestly, if you're doing jiu-jitsu and let's say there's no pandemic going on, it's just business as usual, when you start lifting, you're probably already pretty tired. If you were training every day or a lot, you're tired. So you're not going to be doing clean and jerks for time.
Yeah, it's very.
It's
It's
pretty
a lot
silly,
of
you know.
explosive cardio movement, and you get so much of that from jiu-jitsu, like pushing hard in a jiu-jitsu training session, that the only way for me to be able to train and lift at the same time, like in the same day, is I need to focus on bodybuilding style lifting, where it's not as like, it doesn't break down my nervous system as much, you know. Whereas if you're doing full body movements all the time, it actually wears down your nervous system, and you actually feel shitty as you go through the
You're
week.
focusing on more on stimulating the muscle rather than like your.
Yeah, trying to build some sort of mind-body connection of explosiveness and speed, which I feel like I can get through deliberate practice in my jiu-jitsu training. Which is why I prefer to do this kind of stuff, even though we're demonstrating, you know, kettlebell stuff you can do at home. If I have the opportunity, I'm going to lift heavy weights, and I've been missing some heavyweight lifts because I haven't been getting to the gym here on time to do the lift and then this live stream. So I'm kind of taking advantage of this opportunity to lift, throw up some bench weight. I want to hit bench and deadlift today. That's it.
That's it.
Just 2 exercises. Maybe with some supersets.
I thought we were squatting, dude.
I'm down to do some squats too. I mean, this is kind of my first day back into lifting since the shutdown.
Yeah.
So I'm down to just kind of get in here and lift.
We have this question too here from the Philippines.
I would say my personal experience with Olympic lifts, which I have tried, and I've had some people who are skilled at Olympic lifts try and teach me, and it's such a technique-focused art that it's very difficult for someone who's like looking for recommendations on lifting to get into. Like, you need like a serious coach who knows the Olympic lifting technique to be able to do it properly. And they start you on such light weight that you feel like an idiot. Like, you have to do it with such a light weight to get the form right for so long that you don't even get to start lifting heavy weights for potentially a year, is what was quoted to me. I didn't keep it up that long, but you have to focus so much on technique that it's difficult to just get in there and do it. Which is why I feel like bodybuilding style workouts are good, because anyone can kind of just get in there and start lifting some weights. You don't have to have super good form. You can kind of make it work for you. But that's just my personal experience. Like I said, you have to find what works for you. If you enjoy Olympic lifts, you should definitely do them. It's really just about what you enjoy.
If you think about it, what's one guy that is a tough dude on the mat that does a bunch of lifting that you can think of?
Nick
Moose.
Schrock, the Moose.
That dude's
He
a
does
beast.
primarily Olympic lifts, and he's got incredibly good form, and he's so powerful
He's been
because
doing
of
it forever.
And he's been doing it his entire life. So there's definitely benefit to that. But then you have other guys who just only bodybuild, and they're also beasts on the mat. So it's like, you can get the same result with any kind of lifting, but what do you like? And what is available to you, especially in a situation like this? What can you really do? It would be difficult, like, if you want to be moving your whole body, then yes, use a kettlebell scenario for your home workout. If you want to be trying to get strong, try and lift something heavy for your home workout with a more simplistic movement of just one particular muscle group, right? Like, if you only want to lift chest that day, that's when you're benching the dog, right? One
then
arm.
the cat for the burnout set.
Yeah, and then you
just
maybe
drop
some
the weight.
offset weight, one,
Yeah.
you know.
If you got multiple
one
dogs, I got a puppy.
Tony
and
style.
I go start with Goku and then go to Zeus, you know?
Plyometric workouts. What is that, Tony? What is a plyometric workout?
Plyometrics, anytime there's like you or the weight's like in the air, there's like a catch motion.
Okay. So this guy asked, is there an argument to be made that plyometric workouts are always better for strength explosive? So plyometric is Olympic, because there is a little bit of a hang and catch.
Some of the
with it.
exercises are for sure. Because then, squats and bench, it's not.
I think strongman training would be very beneficial, and that's almost like the functional pattern kind of thing. Because if you're just grabbing something and lifting it, which is a lot of wrestling and jiu-jitsu, you're probably going to see a little bit of strongman style lifts. We even have the Atlas ball here that no one can lift.
That's not true. I was about to
You
name
had
drop him, dude.
Who, Sloan?
Sloan.
Sloan can lift it. I actually picked it up onto my thigh, but that was about it.
Mia's picked it up too.
So we have some strongman equipment here. Really, as with anything, usually the answer is a little bit of everything, right? It's
I think it
there's
depends
nothing
on the person,
yeah,
on your body, and what feels good, what you can do, longevity, consistently.
How are these guys so muscular in high-level jiu-jitsu? I thought it was jiu-jitsu was mostly a cardio-based sport, but you see high-level jiu-jitsu guys that look like the pro bodybuilders. One, it can be steroids. Steroids is a pandemic in itself in the jiu-jitsu community. It's just an unfortunate truth. That is the truth.
Higher affliction rate than Corona.
There's a lot of steroid use in jiu-jitsu. It's just part of the culture for some reason. It's been created that way. The other thing is jiu-jitsu training does work your muscles a lot. It's a lot of, is it isometric squeezing and pulling motion? there's a
Not
lot of
explosive,
there's a
too.
lot of pushing, and then there's a lot of isometric squeezing, and that makes you strong. For a very long time, I didn't get buff, but I definitely was like shredded for a long period of my jiu-jitsu training because I just trained so much, and you're using all your muscles still. But if you're seeing people that look like crazy bodybuilders, I mean, they're probably on steroids.
And also, I think
Probably. That's
as time went on,
speculation.
even since it became more of a popular sport, they realized the benefits of their joints and their body overall from lifting.
Yeah, that's why I started lifting primarily, was to help protect my knees. I had lots of knee problems and mid-back problems. I would just be in pain constantly. And when I started lifting, I think it took some of the pressure off of my ligaments and the actual, I don't know, the tendons or whatever can be damaged. And it spread it out a little more evenly amongst muscle mass. So that makes me feel more sturdy in my rounds. My shoulders feel more supported from building muscle, which is why I kind of focused on bodybuilding style, because I was looking more for protective mass rather than like being faster, using my strength efficiently in a certain way, because I felt like I was doing fine with that in jiu-jitsu already, but I wanted to focus on actual protecting my body, which helped a lot with neck issues I had. There was a point where I was like almost crippled, like I couldn't train. I had probably a herniated disc in my neck. My whole left arm had shooting like electrical impulses down it, and when I started deadlifting a lot, and if anyone followed me on Instagram for a long time, I was deadlifting like twice a week for a year, and that kind of got me back into jiu-jitsu after I dislocated my kneecap. I dislocated my kneecap like a few months after my neck started healing, so I was out for like a year and a half, and lifting really helped me get back into training effectively. So lifting kind of got me out of a dark training period of my life, and that's why I, playfully talk shit on other lifting exercises, because I just didn't feel like I could get those same benefits. But I mean, you probably can, but I just focused on bodybuilding lifting.
Nate has a question from Discord, one of our members.
Nate, how do I start doing Olympic lifts? The form seems pretty complex. Should I ideally get a session with a trainer to get the form down? Yeah, that's the problem with Olympic lifting. You need a trainer who can show you how to do it properly. It's very difficult to practice on your own. Watching YouTube videos or watching Olympic lifters, it can be tricky. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to do my 5th set on bench real fast.
Yeah. And about lifting in general too, where I started lifting for jiu-jitsu seriously, it was in CSP gym in Bray, Ireland. Shout out to them. And they had a poster on the wall which summed up a study which was done, I think, like in Britain, where they measured the grip strength of patients in hospitals, and they found a correlation between the strength of your grip and all case mortality. In short, you're less likely to die from any reason if you're strong, which is common knowledge, but people forget about that.
Yeah, something easy to look over. What about wrestling, intersport, Asia? What do you mean? I think wrestling benefits even more from strength because there's a lot more explosive and physical movements. I don't want to say it's less technical, because it's definitely more technical, or it's as equally technical, but jiu-jitsu does allow you to be weaker and still be successful, I think. Oh no, we got ambulances going.
He's got a serious cough.
Did Marcelo Garcia feel strong as hell? Not really. A lot of the really good jiu-jitsu guys, they don't feel strong because you don't need to use strength most of the time. When you're like engaging with another technical opponent, they don't feel strong. It's just a strategic battle for the most part.
Ooh, there's my name.
You'll feel speed and explosion, but you don't necessarily feel like super strength unless they really get to a tight body lock position or something.
How long do you wait after a fresh tattoo to get back to lifting?
Good question. That's for you, Tony.
Yeah.
I only have one tattoo.
I didn't even know you had one.
It's out of sight. Yeah. Private.
Gluteal area.
Tattoo. Yeah.
So like like here.
You got one
Kisses.
secret tattoo?
Matching. Honestly, not that long. I think they recommend like 2 to 3 days or longer, but
So, who's the second strongest dude you felt besides Keenan? Just assuming that Keenan's the strongest. Keenan is really strong. But it doesn't feel like overwhelming strength. Like, he doesn't use that much of his strength. He has it for sure and doesn't need to use it all the time, which is what you really want to strive for. Is like have the strength, but use mostly technique until you absolutely have to use it. Yeah, I'll get into some deadlifts here. I want to hit some shoulders. Tony, can you give me some shoulder workouts?
Overhead press, dude.
Overhead press on the American flag bar.
Heck yeah.
Should I just put like some tens on it, or just warm up with the bar?
Warm up with the bar, get good form. It says Tony, fellow former futbolista, do you have any lingering foot hamstring injuries that flare up training, jiu-jitsu, squatting? Luckily, I think I ignore a lot of things. I don't have too many things that bug me. I think it's just really tight hips, as my lack of guard shows. But other than that, I got lucky, I guess. Nothing too bad.
Yeah, Tony, why are your hips so inflexible? I was
Soccer.
yelling at you the other night about that, remember?
I do remember. It was like a 15-minute back and forth, and then it somehow got into a argument about athleticism. But yeah, is a Legion tattoo coming?
That's like
gigantic eagle.
every jiu-jitsu gym reaches a point where their members start getting the logo tattooed on it, and it's the point that you have to make a decision if you're going to be a cult or not. Are you going to be a cult, or are you not going to be a cult? Do you encourage your members? You say, hey, yeah, that's cool, thanks for the support. Or do you say, hey, like maybe tone it down with the...
Can we be a cool cult like the Illuminati or something? Like, not shitty like Great Baba or like...
We could be a cool cult. I'm down. Do you guys want to be part of my cult?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pass on that.
I mean, what is jiu-jitsu? What is a jiu-jitsu gym? It's like a group of people, and we're all...
Cuddling.
We're just
aggressively.
training, really. Like, what are the factors of a cult? What makes it a cult?
There's a
Like
leader,
I think undevoted,
ideology.
like completely devoted.
Right,
Subject to the-
regardless
yeah.
of behavior
Yeah.
of the leader, something like that.
Regardless of like federal laws.
Personal identity changing from your individual one to that of a member of a tribe, I guess that would be
Yeah.
a cult.
There's definitely healthy ways to do that. I think the issue is like the
That's one
leaders.
for you. Thoughts on massage guns?
Yo, Nathan, thoughts on massage guns? I have a Theragun G3. I'm a fan for sure. It's not as noisy as the G2, which was deafening. The Hypervolt is also good. In my personal opinion, the Tim Tam is pretty shitty. Like, it's clearly cheaper to manufacture.
Look at this overhead form.
Is this right, Tony? Am I making you proud?
You're halfway there. A
Halfway.
little wider stance, please.
Okay.
There you go. That way you're loading your legs, not your back. Nah.
Right.
Have them in there?
My lower back is less compressed after
go.
widening my stance. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Should I boost this up to 25s maybe? Or would that be a little too heavy?
Can I warm up?
On this?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
You can hit the bar, dude. Get those 10s, 15s on.
What was your question, Juji Uus? I don't see your other questions.
Why no wrestling, dude?
Why no wrestling at Legion? We wrestle every day at Nogi class. Like, the whole warm-up process is wrestling drills. 50% of the techniques I teach are wrestling. I think it's incredibly important to wrestle. So we don't have a specific wrestling class. Justin Flores' class will maybe eventually become a takedown class where he teaches both because he's a very high-level wrestler as well. I would like to be able to have both. But everything is so uncertain right now. There could not be a Legion after this. Who knows? Hopefully not. I mean, hopefully there is. The Discord is only for the Legion members. Someone's flirting with me in the chat, Tony. How do I deal with this? Should I ban her?
Send her like a wink. Something
How
like
did you
that.
get through the emoji ban? Because it's just in the name?
It's only spamming emojis. So if you do
Multiple.
individual, multiple of the same.
Action Man has a point. He is correct in your form. Or
We don't-
maybe just giving advice, but he does have a point.
We can't turn the volume up. You got to turn it up on your computer. You got to boost it. Our volume is as loud as it can go. We can speak louder.
That's true.
That's about it.
Why don't you hit arms, Keenan?
I am hitting my arms, kind of.
As secondary movements to these
I'm doing
Olympic
chest,
lifts?
shoulders. Should you add triceps into a chest and shoulder day, or is that like not? Cool.
I always like to focus on the more compound lifts, but I think there is a place for that for sure.
I like to superset.
Yeah. I think
what
once
should
you
I
get the
superset
Olympic
shoulders
lifts, the more important weights where you want all your muscles firing, effectively out of the way, then you can do the more, like anything from like
Hey,
hip
Steven.
flies, side raises, and then
Steven
add some arms.
Androkopoulos, why do you think hitting arms is a waste of time? Tell me that. Give me a reason for that.
What are you gonna answer for?
I think we should answer this one from Steven.
What is it?
Do you guys know one?
Oh, we have this attachment that we can use with bands.
Yeah, but
But that's
I
not
think-
necessarily
yeah.
for grip. It's
So, Steven Yu has a question. Can you show a grip exercise using the gi besides the pull-up? So, we have a gi here.
Yes, we can.
So,
We're gonna do that.
what I guess you could do is you can grab an old gi and then do something like this with it. So like, I think this is a purposefully made attachment, but I'm guessing you could cut off the sleeve of an old gi and then have the same thing, and then you can have a bit more versatility. You can put it on a band. You can do judo entries with it. You can
arms with
you
it.
can just pull. You can do like a bunch of stuff. If you just have a gi and you don't want to ruin it, and you want some flavor, then you can put it through something heavy. You can like just do exercises like this, which is kind of like a pull-up, but on the ground. You can just hold on to it until your grips burn out.
Farmer
Do we-
carry style.
Do we have anything else, like any other adaptations that you know?
The only one
the one that we did at Europe garage. Remember, like around the bar, kind of like a row.
where
Still, the pull-up is a different
is
angle.
it where we put it
Yeah.
on? We like had a lat bar pull down and we put the
Exactly.
gi on it.
Yeah.
No. One thing that you guys can definitely do, which is actually really good for your grips, and it lets you kind of stretch your hips out at the same time, is here, you can just turn this and point it at me on the mat, Emma, so I can show. Can you turn?
I think the whole tripod.
Oh, shot of Emma for a second. Check this out. I do this a lot to warm up if I don't have a warm up partner for jiu-jitsu. You just grab both sleeves and you just put it in spider guard, like this. And you can use your own legs as like a resistance to your grip. And you just hold, and it's the only way to like really accurately simulate a jiu-jitsu grip and what it feels like on your fingers. You can throw lassos on. You can put this on a chair. You can put your feet inside the lapel into like this to get different pulling motions on your hand, and you'll feel, it feels like someone trying to break your grip kind of. And it lets you kind of feel where your fingers are injured and try and like adjust your grip to be more comfortable. You can work pistol grips like this. You can work the more judo style grips. I prefer this one. It's like the easiest on my fingers when I'm putting resistance through this. Then you can just hit stretches on your legs, opening them up, working the different positions. Feels good. And it's a great way to kind of just like keep your grips comfortable with gripping a gi when you haven't in a long time. That's the only one I know.
More questions,
Put
dudes.
that gi
Come
on
man, dudettes.
a couch cushion or something.
Yeah. Or like put it around your significant other while they're sleeping and then just start going ham on them.
Cobrinha has a series of spider guard workouts he does on a bar as well. If you have a stick or a broomstick or something, look up some of Cobrinha's old videos of his workouts. I think he had some on his Instagram for a long time. He would actually put weight on the bar and do spider guard grips. I knew a guy who actually did those pretty seriously. Spider guard barbell balances. His name was Jordan Schultz, and he had a really good guard because of it. I'm gonna hit these shoulder lifts. What are these called?
Overhead press.
That's what I meant.
Good. Technically the same thing. Idea. That's what we originally said, but we're just kind of winging it. But let's see, what about neck strengthening?
That's a good one.
Yep. I know a few have practiced isometric neck strengthening exercises from using a physio ball on a wall, focusing on both angles. You could also do the same with a little bit of counterweight off of a bench and keeping your neck straight. and then putting your chest on the bench as well, and just doing isometric holds. It's kind of tricky to be doing like full range of motion for your neck. If you are going to do range of motion, always pick either flexion or extension, not the whole range. But I know we've seen a bunch of different people do a bunch of different things. What is your take on that?
When I trained in Warsaw at Radek Turek's academy, we used to do every single day. The warm up would be lying on the floor, so it'd be on the floor like this, hands behind you, and then you would count to 30 like this, up and down, and then side to side, and then ear to shoulder as well, and then you would roll around and do the same thing on your back. So we would do this every single day, and I found that it made my neck not only warmed up but actually stronger, because you're doing it every single day. So that's something to try, just doing those 3 exercises, lying down on your belly, on your back, and then after you do them, you'll feel something for sure.
That's what I was saying, like with the bench, is you have like the floor stopping you from going all the way down.
Someone
So
ban
it's good.
Constantine. Get him out of here. Someone, get him out of here right now. Constantine Khan. Get him out. Who's gonna do it?
How about Timmy O'Toole?
Who else?
Above?
Where's my phone? I'll ban him myself.
Time bridging.
Where are you, Constantine? Good riddance.
So other
Bad
than
rubbish.
rolling, what exercise do you recommend to improve cardio for jiu-jitsu? Hit runs. Me personally, I think I just roll. Luckily, with soccer background, I have some endurance, but it does not translate very well. So you have to just build it through rolls and like those tough rounds. But I think there is a place for some functional body weight or hit style workouts, like using the rope, burpees, etc., just to kind of tax yourself when you can't get your rolls in. But I think the number one option is just to get that cardio in through extra rounds.
Yeah, you definitely. My opinion is, if you need more cardio, do more jiu-jitsu sparring. And if you're not tired from that, then you're not pushing hard enough. You can always get tired in a jiu-jitsu round.
Yeah. And if I was quarantined at home right now with no one to grapple, I would be doing Tabatas for sure, which is HIIT type stuff.
It is, yeah.
But Tabata, from what I understand, the proper Tabata form is 4 minutes, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. You can do whatever maximum effort. Actually, before jiu-jitsu competitions, I warm up with Tabatas normally. Burpees, squats, push-ups, anything you can do, like just bodyweight style.
Do you believe there is such thing as having too much muscle to the point where it's detrimental to that mat performance? Oh, for sure. Too tight, consumes too much oxygen,
There's no such thing as too much muscle.
unless you're Keenan. Sometimes. Why is there no such thing?
What?
Too much muscle, man. Just all day American Games.
I mean,
Bigger, faster, stronger.
having too much mass on your body only limits you from doing more techniques. That's the only thing. Like if you're inflexible, if you can maintain flexibility through it, then why not be bigger? There's a lot of really big flexible guys. I used to train with this guy. His name was.
Was RIP or
He's
is?
still around. He trained in Hawaii with me. I forgot his name, but it was like a Hawaiian name. I forgot, but he was massive. He looked like a football player, but he was incredibly flexible because he stretched a lot. And since I started training seriously, I started competing full time when I was like 170 pounds. I'm like 208 right now, so I've gained almost 40 pounds over the career, my 15-year career of this. And I've maintained 97% of my flexibility, I would say. I used to be able to triangle myself when I was like 16, and I can still almost do that if I had to. Not my proudest.
You can.
If I had to, I
What
think I
would be the
could.
scenario?
Like I'm in a fight to the death with myself. And the
Oh,
only way is
He's on your back.
he's on my back.
Yeah, there's not enough time. You just triangles like create enough space for yourself, but you choke him. There you go. That makes sense.
I like to lift before training because I feel like trying to lift after training, you just don't have that drive to really get through a tough workout, or for me at least.
I like to lift when I can, but you guys train way harder than I do. So
That's not true. You're training hard, Tony.
well,
I'm proud of you.
thank
You
you guys.
just don't try and get better.
Just focus on this.
You don't try and
question over here.
you don't study extracurricularly.
I do not.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to get better off the mats, you're not going to get better. That's just the facts.
I think I've gotten better.
You've gotten a little better.
I'll take it.
You're still in good shape,
Always.
and you've got front headlock chokes because I had to force feed you them. But if you just did a little bit of outside study, Tony, just a little, you could be.
Why'd you
much
flinch?
better.
It's because he knows how good I am. You see that?
Don't bend
He
that wrist,
fucking
boy.
flinched, dude. Doesn't even work.
You gotta be careful.
I learned that.
Chris, don't worry, you didn't miss much at all.
Just me working out, only me, the only one,
Bro lift.
basically.
I don't know why his hand is.
And these
still-
guys wonder why I win these rounds in here in quarantine. It's because I'm hitting these bro weights right now. Have I ever trained with a UFC fighter? I've trained with almost 5% of the UFC fighters that exist, I would say.
The mortality rate is 5%.
Brandon Vera, Dominic Cruz, Joe Lozon, BJ Penn,
Your dude from Alpha, what's his name?
Uriah Faber,
Tattoo
Andre
guy.
Feely,
That guy.
Sadiq Yusuf, so many. They're everywhere. UFC guys are everywhere. I'm doing chest and shoulders, and then I also want to do some deadlifts today because I feel like it's just important to always deadlift a little.
I am that scrappy blue belt, I guess. The only blue belt in this gym right now. Besides Emma. She's the true blue belt. I'm just the scrappy one. I move around a lot. Don't hurt me.
Tony, can I do some leg bend in this? Like a little hop?
That's not a strict overhead press anymore, dude.
Is it better? That's better than stopping though?
Is it? That just means it's too heavy.
I'm not a quitter. I get that weight up.
I like that. I like his answer better.
Are you willing to
Oh,
sacrifice
Tia.
form?
Dang, Atia, what's up?
Respect it, yeah.
Atia had a 30-minute workout with myself at the gym.
You see that?
Hard
Dang,
worker.
Atia.
Hard worker.
Donating to the gym. Take care of yourself out there. Don't worry about us. Appreciate it. I think if you're not doing a weight that's going to damage your body, it's okay to sacrifice form a little bit to get the weight up a few more reps.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't agree with that? I guess that's an unpopular opinion. Everyone's so anal about form.
Nah.
It's like you're not gonna hurt your body if you're lifting lightweight and you just like grunt through it a little bit. Lift your hips up off the bench a little, you know? Get a little hamstring workout on the bench too.
I think there's place for cheating in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like such
A little bit.
They're such form Nazis on the internet, you know? That's why I have a zero tolerance policy for any sort of form Nazi behavior. It's just ridiculous. If you're not in the gym right now with me, lifting more weight than me, I'm not going to listen to you. I just don't respect you. I don't. I have no respect for internet form Nazis. Zero. So if you try it, you better prepare for the consequences.
Oh, dang, he's back.
Where's my phone?
Or rather
I
not.
use my phone every 2 seconds. Get this guy out of here. Ezra.
He's on thin ice.
I'm going to put you on timeout one more time, Ezra. This is your last chance before a permanent ban. Steven, you're out of here. Don't ever come back.
Who's just chugging bang?
You guys think I'm fucking around? Hide user permanently. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We started out by providing a service to the community, and now we're just banning the community.
No, these guys aren't providing service to anyone.
It's the cultish way. Hook grip or straps for deadlifts? I like hook grip. I think he does both.
I always do hook grip for not super heavy weight. I feel like though if you're like worried about grip strength, like, oh, I want to grab it normal so I can have grip strength, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage to be able to like strengthen your posterior chain.
Mm.
So I like to, hook grip lets you hold on to more weight, and at that point, if you're using hook grip, it's not a squeeze anymore. It's a friction-based grip. You're not really squeezing your forearm,
I
right?
feel
Tony?
like he's arguing with me right now.
I'm not. I'm explaining my point. You can counterpoint if you want, but the reason I use straps is because I've noticed that when I use normal grips too much, I build a lot of forearm muscle, but the forearm muscle is not optimized for grips in jiu-jitsu. And my grips burn out really fast when I deadlift without straps too much. Because I have a very strong grip, I could hold on to someone's hand for 20 to 30 seconds how I would when I'm holding the bar. But in a jiu-jitsu scenario, it's like a lot of open and closing, letting go, squeezing, holding. You're not really holding.
And also,
much
they're
weight.
probably just more fatigued in general since you're not using straps if you're deadlifting.
Yeah, and they get fatigued, and it's very difficult to maintain your
I don't like
grip.
straps or anything, but that's just me.
So
I think there's a place for straps for sure. Once you reach like a certain.
Thanks, Chris. I'm not
threshold.
arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right.
Oh man,
I have these figure 8 straps. I think someone.
they're over there.
Those are different. Those are
I think someone tried to do a favor and bring them back to the house.
Someone tried.
Ooh.
Mija
Do you guys do
tried.
any sports other than jiu-jitsu?
No.
We lift.
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Oh, well, you can squeeze yourself in that one. Mija
That's a
plays
good
ping
question.
pong.
Can you improve his rib arm? That's a different. Can you? It's just like core muscle increase help protect you from rib injuries. I've had some rib injuries.
Depends how it was caused, but I mean, sometimes even if
A
your
lot of
core is
times-
too strong or you're just like unbalanced, you're more likely to get
yeah.
hurt. So if you have a really strong back but your core is weak, you're more likely to get hurt. If your core is really strong, your back's weak, you're more
There's a
likely
lot
to
of
get hurt.
soft tissue in your ribs that I'm not
yeah,
sure you can really
it's
protect
tricky.
with muscle. It's mostly like opening movements, like
Twisting,
twisting,
yeah.
opening, pops your ribs out sometimes.
Do y'all have any interesting hobbies aside from BJJ and lifting?
I
Mija
do.
is a master internet marketer.
It's not a hobby, that's a profession.
I mean, it's interesting.
I like all sports: soccer, basketball, volleyball.
I like hitting the trails, honestly. Going to nature, just walk around a little bit. That would be it. Surfing as well, but been living in San Diego for months now and never went to the beach once, so.
Animals.
Animals, yeah.
Big fan.
Dogs.
Borrowing my dogs.
Dude, today's the perfect day to show the dogs. A little bit.
Both of them.
Yeah.
I'll have to take them out so they can pee, so they don't pee on this freshly clean mat in the area. Let's go introduce them. You keep going.
Yeah. Do you guys want to see some dogs? Tony has 2 pit bulls. One about yay big and one about yay big. Rugby's pretty cool. Rugby is a man sport. That's if I was watching any team sports, I'd be watching rugby.
Oh, you brought it. Thank you. Huh? Oh, why didn't you just come in? Oh yeah, it's continual. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention yoga. Yoga is actually a pretty damn great thing you can be doing right now. I think right now you should be lifting if you have the equipment and just doing yoga, improving your mobility. I saw a Reddit comment that was pretty spot on, which said that right now it's better to do strength and conditioning instead of rolling around with a glorified scarecrow on your or doing shrimps on your living room carpet. Would you agree with that?
Oh, what's that?
That right now it's better to do strength and conditioning than to do shrimps on your carpet.
Yeah, I think the idea of solo drills is pretty. It's in theory seems good, but in practice it's not really. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're gonna like shadow wrestling, sure. You could shadow wrestle because that's like a coordination-based movement. You have to like shoot properly, but if you don't have mats, you're gonna get a damaged knee. You'll get a bursitis on your knee. Strength and conditioning is like the number one way you can be prepared to get out of this and like come back and still be effective in grappling. You're not gonna lose what you know. Jiu-jitsu is so knowledge-based. Doing some bridges and shrimps and solo drills is like, honestly seems like a waste of time to me. We thought about trying to come up with some good solo drills, but like solo drills are basically just warm-ups that you do at the beginning of a class. Like those are all the jiu-jitsu solo drills. If you've ever gone to a jiu-jitsu class and you ran through a bunch of warm-ups, those are solo drills. You roll over, you do like a Granby roll, maybe you do some duck walks, maybe you do some, lizard walks, shrimps.
Yeah, I think so too. So you can just do yoga or like mobility stuff. Try to identify. So for example, my weak area is the external mobility of my hips, which doesn't help when you're trying to throw in hooks. So now would be the time to open that up and like work on that rather than do some solo drill that's more similar to jiu-jitsu but doesn't actually like open up your hips, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Intersport Asia, Ryan, if Ryan Hall really said that, which you'd have to provide me with a link to an interview or something, but that's just kind of a black and white statement because current jiu-jitsu also involves all other jiu-jitsu that preceded it. No one is doing current jiu-jitsu only. Everyone is doing the collective understanding of what jiu-jitsu has become over the last, 100 or 200, 1,000 years, however long people have been rolling around with each other trying to choke each other out. Current jiu-jitsu, what does that mean? Like some new sport-specific techniques, lapel guard stuff, berimbolo type stuff. It all has its place somewhere. And no one is like, it's also funny because it's like saying that current jiu-jitsu would be ineffective. He's probably looking at the people who have pioneered those techniques, and that's assuming that those people who pioneered the techniques don't know like more basic jiu-jitsu moves. I think it's pretty obvious. Even the Meow brothers are killers in no-gi. They place it ADCC all the time. You think they do that because they only do berimbolo? No, they're skilled everywhere.
Yeah, I think there's one caveat to the whole solo drill too. If you're a beginner and you've just started to practice them,
Yeah, as a white belt for
Yeah.
sure. If you're just beginning, you definitely need to learn how to use your body more effectively. Solo drills could help with that. But for guys like Ian, who's one of our white belts, Ian and Albert, you guys are better off just trying to get stronger and studying matches, playing it through like visualization in your brain. Jiu-jitsu is a brain sport. It's less about your body being able to perform the movements, and it's more about your brain being able to understand the movements. So like studying and watching and actually taking time to like watch a 10-second clip of some move happening and then going through it and figuring out why it worked like that. Like what did his body do to the other person's body that made it effective? Where was the pressure? Where were the grips? How did that work? And being able to analyze that makes you better at jiu-jitsu. I would be down to do some judo competitions in the future, but probably not anytime soon, given the circumstances.
Nexus, I saw you ask earlier if I'm still with Yoga for BJJ, and the answer is no. Parted ways a couple of months ago.
What lift will make your brain stronger? Puzzles. Any sort of puzzle, I think, is good for your brain. If Guy had ADCC rules, how would J-Flow do? Like I guess that's kind of takedown specific. He would probably take everyone down. He's got really, really high level takedowns.
Go.
This is going to be the last stream for the weekend unless I stream from home. We're going to take a break probably. I got to collect some weaponry later. Look at these big dogs. He's fine. Where's the little one? Bring him over here. Bring him. Come on.
Do a goblet squat.
Show them. They want to see.
Hey.
Look how beautiful this guy is. Just take a moment to appreciate his beautiful blue eyes.
He just sat behind you.
Yeah.
Apparently all dogs' eyes are blue when they're born. Is that true? He's like 8 weeks or something. How old is he?
He's 7.5 weeks old.
Tony thinks his eyes aren't going to stay blue, but I feel like with his color
I hope
pattern, I've seen like pits that stay blue with this color pattern. What do you guys think? What is his exact breed, Tony?
So. He's a pit bull.
Just straight up pit bull?
Yep. Mom and dad.
Just a classic pit bull.
It's more of like the American Bully breed.
And what breed of animal is this? This one?
That is a I don't know, rat terrier
He's a
slash
rat terrier.
hairy chihuahua.
Hey, get out of his junk, bro. What are you doing? And what kind of bear dog is this?
It's a half bear, half dog. Exactly. That's correct.
Yeah, this is a pit. Isn't he gorgeous? He's a little stink rat, though.
What name is this?
He was desecrating my house last night over and over again.
He was well behaving, but also dropping
I stepped in his pee.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
No, this is a scar from where I had ringworm and I burned myself with bleach and it scarred me. Yeah. Well, guys, I think we should just wrap up the stream maybe. And we'll try and return in the future. Unless you guys just want to keep, we can just keep it on while I finish the workout as well. I notice he likes to tug on things a lot, like pull on it. But can he lose his teeth like that? Like
He's
if
supposed to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
His first round is supposed to go.
All right, we'll keep it
And-
on.
We have a security system.
Who is that out there? Someone trying to get in? Get him, Goku. Oh, he's bit my jugular. Vicious.
I think we should turn the stream off and do some like Keenan Online lifting footage to put on Keenan Online.
Oh yeah.
That'd be good.
Good. All right, we're gonna end the stream, guys. We're getting attacked from some infected strangers outside, so we're gonna shut this off here. Thanks everyone for coming. Sorry it was a little uncoordinated, but we'll improve. Remember, don't give unsolicited lifting advice ever on the internet. Just don't do it. And we'll see you all later. Thanks for coming in. We'll be back on Monday at noon
In the gi.
in the gi. See you all.